Oh man, what's the business world? You already know what time it is. It's your folk Marquise, and welcome to another episode of Plan Maturity. That's right. Welcome to the Plan Maturity Show. I am your host Marquise, and we are here to bring a message of maturity to millennials and their minors, and the effort to create the perfect citizen. So check this out, man. I'm so excited, y'all. I really am. Things are coming together. Although it's kind of dark in this world, we were put here to be the light. So we just gonna shine, baby. Just like that. Man, I got a special guest for y'all tonight, man. A dear friend of mine. I really consider her a sister, the oldest sister, from another mister. And man, I'm just so grateful to be a part of her life, truly. But before I bring her up, I wanted to do moments in Black excellence. And for those, if this is your first time joining us, we're here at Plan Maturity. We're here to bring a message of maturity to millennials and their manners. There's a scripture that says, "Be ye perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect." And when I looked up perfect, it was about maturity. It was about growth. It was about becoming better. So that's what we're here to do, millennials and their minors, through finance, mental health, things of that nature, and just inspiring them to truly tap into who and what they were called to be. And that's what you can expect from this podcast. Currently, we're live twice a month, but we got some things in the works that'll really begin to really hit y'all with those episodes that will add value to your life. So I like to do what's called moments in Black excellence. Although Plan Maturity is for any millennials and their minors of any ethnic background, we do have a focus on people of color. So that is that. The first gentleman I wanted to highlight, this really blessed me. I don't know how he went about doing it. I'm an 80s baby, so I don't know if y'all remember the movie Congo. And it's kind of interesting now that I kind of put this together. The movie Congo from back in the early to mid 90s. In the movie Congo, you had Amy the gorilla, and in the movie, you had them using sign language and a hookup on their arm, and there was a device that spoke. Well, this young brother here, 25-year-old Roy Alela from Kenya, check that out. Both of them was in Africa. He created what they called smart gloves. And these smart gloves actually translate sign language in which it would speak through an app on your phone. Talk about genius, baby. Let's go. This are moments in Black excellence. I promise you, we are more than basketball players. We're more than rappers. We're more than football players and thoughts shaking it up on TVs and Instagram. We are beautiful people, and God has given us so much. So shout out to Roy Alela. He had a 6-year-old niece that was born deaf, and she had difficulties communicating with her family who didn't know sign language. So he used his God-given gifts. I want you to put that in your pocket because my sis going to talk about the God-given gifts that lie within inside of you. And he created something that can literally revolutionize the entire world, baby. Let's go. The next person I wanted to highlight is Deja, a young woman named Deja Taylor. She's from Iowa City, Iowa. And this young lady, check this out, man. I love it. She invented sutures. Like when you go get surgery and you get a suture, stitches. She created suture threads that change color from bright red to dark purple when a wound becomes infected. Check that out. So anytime a wound becomes infected, it'll change colors to highlight it to the doctor. Shout out Deja Taylor, only 17 years old, people. Only 17 years old. That's what I'm talking about. This is the reality of the minors. I'm a millennial personally. Millennials was born from 80, 81 up until like 96. I got a daughter that's around her age. So these are the minors that we're talking about. This is Black excellence, baby. And last but not least, one of my favorite guys, straight from H-Town, as they say, Houston, Texas, the one and only Frazier Thompson, better known to the world as Trey the Truth. Trey the Truth. He is a gangster rapper, realistically, from Houston, Texas. However, Trey is about to receive the Joe Biden's Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award for his philanthropy and social justice activities in the city of Houston, Texas. Shout out Trey the Truth. Trey has been feeding children. He's been doing back to school drives. Even when Hurricane Harvey hit, he sent his team out using his bread. That's what the money's for. I ain't against jewelry. I ain't against a nice car here. All that's fine. But you got to use your finances to impact the culture and impact the community. And Trey the Truth has used his finances to go out and help those towing cars and things of that nature when people stuck on their homes due to flooding. Trey has showed up with his team to impact these people. So shout out Trey the Truth. I salute you, bro. Till we meet. But so, as you know, I'm Marquise. I'm loving Plan Maturity and everything that this brand is about to do. But I want to bring my guest up because she is truly one of the most inspirational people that I know personally. I'm glad that I can reach out and touch her. Here's a picture of her when she recently became Dr. Yes, DR period. Dr. Tawanna Worlds, straight from Fresno, California. Straight coming from the west side, baby. She is accomplished. Man, I don't know where to even begin, but I'll say this. She is a mother of 9. That's right, 9 beautiful children, world changers that she's rearing with her husband, Marcus World. Shout out, bro. He's a man of God. He's also an entrepreneur. They just a power couple making moves. I'm gonna let her introduce herself, but I tell you this, she is a hustler if I ain't never seen one. She's done 5 figures in business multiple times, not to put her pockets out there, because if you come for her, she gonna come back at you. I'm gonna just tell you that right now, so don't even try it. But she's helped so many people. I've witnessed it firsthand for myself. She loves God, she loves people. So keep your eyes out even after this show because you will hear about her. I don't even want to give away all her accolades. I'll let her tell you some of the people she's connected with and the things that she's doing. Sister, Dr. Tawanna Worlds, are you there?
I am. Hello, hello.
Awesome, awesome. So welcome. Here's my guest, Dr. Tawanna Worlds, live from Texas. How you doing, sis?
I am doing great. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it. So please introduce yourself. Tell the people where you're from, uh, how was life, in Fresno, California. Just give them a little bit of your background.
Yes, sir. So I was born and raised partially in Fresno, California. That's on the West Coast, as Mr. Marquise had just stated. At the age of 20, I relocated to Los Angeles, went there to take care of my grandmother. And then from there, I now reside in Dallas, Texas. Growing up in Fresno. So originally, my mother is from Los Angeles, California. And in rebellion to just not wanting to be under my grandmother's rule, kind of in a sense, my mother's like, look, let me have my own life. And she moved us down to Fresno, California now. Fresno, California is a place within a place. That's what I'll say. So it's a place. It's really not existing. It's a place where it has opportunities, but it doesn't have opportunities for everyone. And so I grew up in extreme poverty because of that. Um, those opportunities. It was kind of a racist town when my mother uh, moved there, and still having minorities and different things of that sort migrate to Fresno. So we went there when I was at age 2. I suffered very greatly there growing up, just like I said, in poverty. My mother, shout out to my mother who tried to hold it down the best way that she could. She was a single mother. My father was in and out of prison. So I grew up in a one family home, which really stressed, financially on my mother. We were on public assistance. There were times I remember not being able to get birthday gifts, Christmas gifts, regular things that young children receive during holidays, special occasions, because we just couldn't afford it.
Okay.
It was, pretty pretty intense. I ate out of the trash cans on many occasions just to be able to survive. So the restaurants would throw their food away, and that was kind of a practice of ours in order to stay alive, is to go
Wow.
into the trash cans and eat meals from there. Yes, sir.
Wow. I think just hearing that again, I mean, there's one other person that's on the global stage that always speaks of that. I ate out of trash cans, and that's, as you know, Dr. E.T. Check that out. E.T. the hip hop preacher. But I think when you really hear it, I think every time you hear it, it impacts you. It's like, how can this be possible in the richest nation in the world? But I definitely have some questions to ask you concerning that. But I would say this, knowing you personally, I know for certain that those experiences created that hunger and drive that I see. Not just because you're a mother who has to, take care of her children, but just that absolute tenacity and fire that I've seen you show on so many occasions. I could tell that's a reality. So I have a question for you. Due to what you were just sharing, why would you say that our people are in poverty?
For a lack of knowledge. My mother inherited poverty. She accepted it because she didn't know
Mm,
no better. She didn't know no other means out. For at that moment, it's welfare or no fare. It's no
wow,
education. They don't teach us that in school. Even in college, you're not taught. You're taught to work and
wow,
save and spend. You're not taught
wow,
to, actually create stuff that will outlive you, that will provide for
wow.
your generations. Yeah. So it's a lack of education.
Lack of education. Would you say that education is only geared towards what's taught in school, or something outside of school also that you can learn and readily apply to your life? What's your thoughts on that?
I must say that for me, I learned what I did in school. I also learned streetwise.
Okay.
Yeah, I also learned how to, uh, just because I had to hustle, I come from selling drugs. I had to turn to that alternative lifestyle because
Okay.
we're not taught, but any different, than to hustle, than to get it how you live is the way that they explain it. Get it how you live by all
Yeah.
means necessary. So I got a lot of street knowledge, but the street knowledge helped me in certain aspects. The
Okay.
educational knowledge is what revelation. It's what gives you the revelation, the know-how, how to apply it. So I would say both,
Okay.
from my perspective, taught me. Yeah.
I can appreciate that. So from that, what would you say are two ways that we can escape poverty as a people? Seeing that you came from such a difficult background, and now you have flourishing businesses, you helping people all over the country and things of that nature. Give me one or two ways that you think we as a people can escape poverty.
First of all, you got to identify that you impoverished, that you poor.
Wow. Wow. That's wow. Okay.
That's the number one thing. You got to identify that I'm living beneath my means,
Okay.
that I'm suffering on the inside because I know there's more to be and inside of me, but I can't obtain it. So that's number one. Number two is you got to invest in you. You got to
Okay.
learn. You got to go outside of grandmama, mama and them, because mama and grandmama and them, all due respect, they didn't know. So you got to
Wow.
go outside of that. You got to get outside of your sphere of influence, and you got to go hang with people that do know so that you can educate yourself.
Wow. Wow. Was that a difficult process? How would you say your transition was? And this is where I'm asking that. There's people out there with the same background, with the same situation. But one thing that I've realized is that we as people suffer from limiting beliefs like everybody, but especially the demographic and the urban background that we come from, it's just it doesn't seem real. That's not for us. That's for them over there. We can't accomplish that. We can't have stuff like that. How was your transition to begin to rub elbows with different classes of people?
So I just got to be very real. I got to be very transparent. That's what we in the urban community use as an excuse to
Wow.
remain poor. We want
Wow.
to put the blame on everybody else, but the truth of the matter is It does not matter if you grew up in poverty. You don't got to grow old in poverty. You may not have a choice in the circumstances or the conditions that you were raised up in, but you have a choice in the type of lifestyle that you're going to lead. And ain't nobody got their foot on our neck but our excuses. So we got to get outside of that. We got to get outside of saying, well, we can't, even though we know there are negative stigmas, that are out there. This is how I came out, just honest. If you can have it, I can have it, period. I just need to know how you got it.
Wow. And I love your transparency, because one thing that I believe, I know that you're a leader, and this is just my own perspective. I'm a man of God, you're a woman of God, and I know that we've gotten where we've gotten because of God, Yahweh, the God of the Bible. But I think from what I've seen, even looking at scriptures and just studying, I think that people that are leaders, our vision is just slightly different than the masses. I really believe that. Not that we're better than them, but because we were chosen to be leaders, naturally our perspectives are different. Would you agree with that? Do you believe that?
Absolutely. We are heirs, we are rulers, and that is another problem that I would like to acknowledge, because people in the urban communities go to leaders that are supposed to be trusted to bring them out of situations.
Indeed.
So they put more emphasis on getting you spiritually delivered or getting you spiritually free, but you still financially bound. You still
Wow.
mentally bound by limiting beliefs. So if we had enough leaders in the faith-based community to actually want to see you driving a Mercedes, because I'm driving one, everybody in this church
Yeah.
making it mandatory that we teach, financial literacy. If we know that we didn't learn it in school, then we have an obligation to teach that what we know, because just like they got to a certain plateau, a certain platform, bring the people up with you. Don't step on the people to get where you need to get to, or usurp the people to get to where you need to get to, and then leave them trusting God.
Wow. Wow. That's powerful, sis. I really agree with that, and I've seen that, and it's just gonna take some major heart surgery on every level, and that's why people like us are moving forward and using platforms like this to kind of go back to what you were sharing. Uh, Sometimes people feel like there's knowledge that's hidden, and I would say, and I'm sure you can attest from certain masterminds you've been to, if you could share about that, because I definitely want to highlight your business and things you're doing. Would you agree that although there's a lot of information and nuggets hidden, that at this point in 2021, there's more knowledge available than ever to earn an income other than working a 9 to 5?
Absolutely. And it just comes down to investment. So let me speak about investment. When I say you got to educate yourself, you got to believe enough in you to invest in you. The number
Wow.
one thing is our people was not taught about money, for one. So we saw mama, daddy work for money, save money up. We're taught to save money, work hard for money, save money. And so we have the wrong concept of money. Money only grows when it flows. You can
Wow.
put 4 quarters in a jar and you go back next week and you don't add no more money to that, you still gonna have 4 quarters in a
Okay.
jar. Actually, the Bible calls the man who received the talent and saved it or buried it a wicked servant. So money is not meant to be saved. And that is what they know that we don't know. Money
Wow.
is meant to flow. It's meant to be invested. So we have this mentality that we have to consume, buy, buy, buy. We wear in our houses, we wear in our cars. But when it comes down to investing in yourself, oh no, I can't do that. That costs too much.
Wow.
Because we
Wow.
have this spend, we have this work for money mentality and then spend money. So the number one issue is people have been taught the wrong way. First of all, you don't work for money, and that's what people is doing. They're working for money, which means money owns them. Money tells them when they can take a vacation. Money tells them
Wow.
when they can be with their children. Money tells them why, because I got to get this dollar. I got to go to work. But nevertheless, money purpose is to work for you. So
Wow.
when you begin to invest in you, money begins to work for you. I take $1,000, invest in my education, my money working for me, because that $1,000 investment is going to turn into a 5,000 investment, to a $10,000 investment. So yes, it is hidden in a sense. It's
Hmm.
for those who really want it. This
I like that.
information is not readily available. Not well, the information is, let me say it this way, the information is, but the process isn't readily available for everybody. That's what you
Okay.
have to invest in. If you don't want to spend years learning something and you're trying to get from A
Mm,
to Z, then the investment is important, because the people that are teaching you how to get to A to Z that already been there. Now they're going to help you avoid the landmines, help you avoid the short, they're going to have you take the shorter path. So it was hard coming from a poverty mindset. Now, I want to tell you guys something. I walked away from Section 8. I walked away from food stamps. I walked away from A and BC. I got tired of being poor. And when my son died, not because of my poverty in that sense, but as a result of my poverty, it
mm,
it was over with. I don't have anything else to lose. So whatever it took, whatever I needed to do, that is what I was going to do, to
wow.
learn how to get out of the system. And that is
Wow.
when the investment came in. So when I start investing in me, my mindset was the first thing that began to change. That, oh wow, like I can make money. Like there's so much on the inside of me that I could. So that's what the investments are for. And when you make an investment, you guarantee the harvest. You don't get
Wow.
a harvest from a cost, from a price, from an expense. You get a harvest from an investment. And one
Wow.
thing that they can't do, and I want to say this real quick, is millionaires do it all the time. They hit multi-million status and then they bankrupt. But you know why they're able to build back better, in Joe Biden's voice? The reason why they're able to do that is because they have the knowledge. So no matter whatever they lose, they can build it right back. And
Wow.
that is what we're missing in our community.
Wow. That was phenomenal. We have about 3 minutes left. I definitely want to give you the chance, opportunity to share people where they can find you. You just said just such a mouthful, and I pray that y'all really took that to heart. So this ain't a young lady living in Beverly Hills who just slang around her daddy trust fund, telling y'all what's happening. She came out of the rough, truly a diamond in the rough, and she's telling you she's gone through the process. And I just want to highlight this: use common sense. Clearly, if you have a family, a 9 to 5 is not evil while you're building. So you work a job, a man don't work, a man shouldn't eat. Okay, if you have to work a job, that's fine. But in your time getting home, you ain't got time for Netflix and this and that and this and that. Tap into that reservoir on the inside of you and begin to put together a plan and cause that business to begin to overtake your uh, 9 to 5 income until it supersedes it far beyond. Would you agree with that, sis?
Um, I do agree. So if you're gonna work a 9 to 5, work a 9 to 5 with a plan. That's what I told my husband. Use that 9 to 5 to fund your business. So instead of buying out to eat, instead of shopping and consuming, use the extra dividends to begin to create you a LLC, to live out your dream, to live out your purpose. So use the 9 to 5 as a tool, not to stay stuck, but as a leverage tool. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. However, I will say this: what you
Please
have
do.
on the inside of your vault will pay you far greater than anybody in the world could ever pay you, because only you know what you worth.
Tell them
So
where to
you
find
find
you,
the
sis.
value in your vault, huh?
Tell them where to find you.
Um, my link tree, Dr. Tawanna Worlds, on all different platforms: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, at Dr. Tawanna Worlds. That is where you can find me.
That is correct. Tawanna Worlds, like as the world turns, with an S on the end of it. Dr. Tawanna World. Sister, I appreciate you. I know your time is valuable. I thank you for showing up. I thank you for adding value to the audience as we continue to grow. The woman knows what she talking about. She loves God. She loves people. Please look her up. Please tap into what she's doing, because she has so much more to give that she wasn't able to share on this podcast. But we thank you for your time. Thank you, sis. I know you have other obligations to get to.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Well, that's our show for today, folks. I apologize. We had some technical difficulties earlier that we did get through, but we'll be back the first Tuesday in November. And from far beyond that, just continue to look for us. And I thank you for your time. You already know what time it is. You think different, you're going to live different. Y'all bless.